And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Mexa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time this morning. As you heard, Pete is on the way to fishing the Journeyman, and I'm sure going to go pull on some big tunas. And, man, are we having a great show today. Dave Pfeiffer, the man from Shimano, is joining us today. So much great information going on, both products and fishing and everything in between. And if you want to join us in the second hour, 2 ways you can do that. First is our local line. That's 858 area code 457-1090, or try us toll-free 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. His first hour has been a very busy morning, but those are going to be your opportunities to get through. And not only are you going to get all your questions answered, all that great information, also having a shot at winning a fantastic prize, the perfect new reel to go catch your big bluefin next year, and that's a brand new Shimano Twin Power 14,000. Perfect for go and get your big bluefin. Well, Dave, the phones are absolutely packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to you, and we're going to jump right into them and talk to Wayne, who's calling us from Huntington Beach this morning. Wayne, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, guys. Great show as usual.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Hey, I really wanted to thank you guys for talking about the smaller size tranks this morning, because I was just about ready to pull the trigger on a competitor's reel just because of the size of the tranks that's available right now.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I think you'll really enjoy these.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to see the 400, too, which is a very unique size. That 500, so perfect for that surface iron and big popper and things like that. I having not even seen it, don't know, but knowing what roughly a Corrado 300, that's like my favorite reel that I have. So having an option in between there is going to be very cool one.
Yeah, I think it'll be really versatile. Like we said earlier, for a lot of things out here, from calico bass to yellowtail to small tuna to a lot of things. So, yeah. And
Fred Hall.
Absolutely.
Can you hang that long,
I wanted to thank you guys for having such a great service department up here over in Irvine, too. I go to those guys regularly. They're fantastic. They do stuff as fast as they can, and they do over and above what you go in there for.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that, because honestly, our service team, they're fantastic. I mean, those guys, they work super hard. They really care about everybody that comes in, and as you know, service, it's tough to satisfy everybody all the time, and I know they always do their best to make that happen. So I appreciate you saying so.
Hey, great products, great team.
Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call, Wayne. Thanks a lot. From another angle of being a guy that works in a tackle store, I can tell you guys are, the service department at Shimano is good even to a fault. You know what I mean? Like, to the point where it's, you probably shouldn't be replacing this, but no, we're going to do it anyways. That's the way to make it right, or however that scenario is. So I got to back up what Wayne says from the third party of not the customer or the guy that does it, but the man in the middle that helps to try and make it. The guys are just awesome. I mean, miracle workers for real. It's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing, yet another thing that sets you guys apart from everybody else. Wayne, appreciate the phone call. Next up, let's talk to Roy. He's calling us from San Diego this morning. Hi, Roy. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing today?
What's up, Roy?
Hey, quick question. Since, Dave, you were kind of letting some cats out of the bag about those trank stuff, is there any thing in the horizon for maybe a smaller torium, like similar to the 14s that they have now?
Smaller torium? I don't think we have any near-term plan on smaller. Honestly, smaller than that, we just don't get a lot of call for smaller than the 14. Even in the Trinidads, the 14 is far more popular than the 12. So, no, I won't say never, but I will say nothing on the near horizon.
Immediate?
Yeah. And, honestly, in the main market for those reels is Southern California, and in the last 2 years, it's shifted from a small reel market to a big reel market, and I'm sure it'll come back around, but, we didn't sell that many small Star Drag reels last year, I can tell you that.
Right. Appreciate the phone call very much. One of the things, if and when we do get, and when we do, not if, when we do have albacore and anchovies again, I cannot wait to see Trinidad 14 in that arena.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It is as if you're just forecasting the future. If you could put on paper the most perfect reel for fly line anchovy, but still having to catch a tuna, that's it.
Yeah,
that thing is going to be just money.
It's sitting there waiting for that to happen.
And like you say, last year, again, being on the shop side of things, like we couldn't put Talica 12s and 16s on the shelf fast enough, and small reels just didn't happen. It wasn't even a thought.
There was no fishery for it. We knew that. We saw that in the season. There was just what were you going to go catch with those reels? Besides a little bit of yellowtail fishing.
Sure. I've worked in the tackle store at Fisherman's since I was in high school. That was my summertime job. And we joked my whole life when somebody called and said, what do I need to get ready for my trip? You could put on a recording. You need 25-pound, a pack of 2s, and a pack of 2-0s. We didn't say that once. We didn't even think about saying that. You don't even bring that. Leave that at home.
Totally different.
Hey, we're going to go live on the water right now. Captain Mark Gillette is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning. Did you say albacore?
We're starting rumors about that, too.
What's interesting is that the technology that we have with the Spectra and the smaller reels and the graphite rods, we didn't have that technology, last time albacore were really here. So it's going to be interesting and a lot of fun when they do come back.
They don't stand a chance.
I know.
Not a chance.
It's going to be cool.
I can't wait. Well, we just got back from Punta Colonette, the infamous same Punta Colonette, and it was beautiful weather down there again this weekend. It's very tough conditions, though. We didn't see that yellowtail first thing in the morning. It took a little while for it to get on the bank, but when it got on the bank, there was no shortage of it. It was all over the place. But it didn't want to cooperate too well. But we ended up with 24 yellowtail and some really good ones. 30-plus pounders.
Nice.
Yesterday. And then we fished rockfish for the afternoon, and we scratched away at length and reg, fairly well. So it was good fishing to be had yesterday. We worked for the guys that, really worked at it. And we picked up a new sponsor here aboard the Eclipse, and they sent us out with a bunch of jigs, and we used these jigs, and some of these guys had these JRI Stinger jigs. And it seemed like the ones in all red and scrambled egg were the hot ticket, especially the all red ones. When the sunlight came out and it was a clear sky, that all red jig was the thing to have.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are great jigs. They're fairly compact but really dense. That you can get like the same weight out of a larger size jig and a smaller one. That's awesome, Mark. Well, glad you guys had good fishing. Going forward, are you guys still running trips on the regular to Colonette?
Yeah, we are, Rick. Thank you. We're be fishing Colonette every weekend through January and February. As long as we have good weather. I think next weekend probably going to keep us at the dock. Looks like quite the wind event next Saturday. But we do have trips all throughout, and they're on eclipsesportfishing.com. And then that'll take us right into Fred Hall Show, and then that'll take the boat up to Long Beach here in mid-March. So we'll be bringing the Eclipse up there for that right after our Colonette trips.
Awesome, Mark. Well, great fishing. Glad you guys are having continued success at Colonette and some great opportunities to come fishing with you as the season rolls on. Appreciate the check, Mark. If somebody wants to jump on board, how do we do it?
Yeah, just go online, go to eclipsesportfishing.com to book your trip, or call us at 995-6880. And thank you guys very much. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday. We'll be listening in.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that very much. All right. Hey, with that, it's time to find out what's biting up and down the coast. It's time for our fishdope.com report with your saltwater guide. Captain Dave Hansen is on the line. What's up, Dave?
Well, good morning, Rick. Hey, Dave. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Good, Dave. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm out here in Arizona taking my son to college. He starts tomorrow here at NAU, so we're having a nice day here.
That's awesome.
Went to the Grand Canyon yesterday, but enough of that baloney. Hey, I was just listening to Razor talk. It's kind of funny when we're talking middle of January and it's slow when we only get 21 yellows. I remember middle of the summer would be pretty bitching to get 21 yellows.
No doubt. We're in good times.
Fishing just, it's all like we talked about last week, Rick. It's all about getting in between the weather windows that you can find a spot. And the sand bass are kind of biting on some of the local rocks, and still all the sport boats are catching sculpin when they can get out. It's all about weather. And like Razor was just saying, this next weekend's looking like might be a good time to go over there and get your reels re-spooled up, or go get them maintained, or go take care of some stuff with the family. Next weekend looks like it might be a little gnarly out there, but we're in the middle of winter, guys. You got to remember that. So you got to pick your spots, and it's always a good time to go fishing whenever you can go fishing. There was a little bit of squid found down there between Yellowtail and Patterson's, and about 15 to 19 fathoms here during the week when we had a little weather window. There were some guys down there that caught a little bit in their crowders. So there's all kinds of different things happening up and down the coast. It's all about just keeping an eye on fish dope and watching what Danny has to say, and just get out there and go fishing when you can find a window to go fishing. That's all I can say right now.
That's a perfectly well said, and that's exactly why we say having fish dope is so important, especially in this time of year. Summertime, when every one of your buddies that has a boat is fishing and there's a huge network of buddies, it's one thing. But, boy, this time of year when there's lots of things happen and they pop up for small little windows, fish dope is on it every day. And if you want to find out what's biting up and down the coast, it's the best way to do it. And with this code, you can save $20 on a new subscription to fishdope.com, and that's Hookup Now. Hookup Now, all lowercase, no space. Going to save you $20 on a new membership. And Dave, we want to go fishing with you. How do we do that?
Well, there's a couple of different ways. We got that 65-foot Hatteras in Dana Point we do charters on. We're putting brand new motors on it starting in 2 weeks. So come April, we'll have brand new motors on that rig. And if you want me to come with you on your boat, teach you how to use all that cool equipment you bought for Christmas, give me a call at 949-374-0786 or look me up on the web at yoursaltwaterguide.com. And Kelly and I are getting ready to go to the zoo. I'll see you guys later.
Great job, Dave. Appreciate a report. We'll look forward to talking to you next week. All right, let's jump right back into the phones. They are packed up. We're going to talk to Roger, calling us from Fullerton this morning. Roger, thanks for hanging in there with us this morning.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick. Good morning. Happy New Year to everybody.
See you, Roger.
Dave, what is your favorite type of fishing, and what reel's in your hand?
That's a really good question. You know, I honestly tell people that I get asked that a lot, and it's a tough question to ask, but I have to say, for the most part, any kind of real, true lure fishing for bigger fish. So like this popper fishing, surface iron fishing, and I'm not as particular these days about what reel I have in my hand for that. You know, you've heard today I really like the Tranks. I really like the, you know, some of the Stellar, the Twin Power. It's just more that experience of fishing a lure, getting a fish to fall for it, whether that's saltwater fishing, whether that's bass fishing. Ricky and I were talking at the break about fishing El Salto and stuff, and I get, you know, pumped up about fishing big crankbaits. So it's much more a style of fishing than it is a very, very specific fishing. Even, you know, marlin trolling with jigs to get the spread right and get the jig working right and watch that fish come in on it. So I'm just really much more a fanatic about lure fishing than anything else. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy live bait fishing. I just really enjoy lure fishing, and especially for bigger fish, and you know, getting that fish to fall for what you're doing and to make a mistake that's what's really cool to me.
You won. Like in that little bite, I mean you're going to get them or not, but just in that scenario, I
got the bite.
That's
and
cool.
That's, you know, I could count those as much as I could count fish on the deck, and I'd be happy. So, but it's a fun question to think about and answer.
Sure. Roger, appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks a lot for that. Let's go live to the Royal Polaris. Captain Roy Rose is on the line. What's up, Roy?
Hey, how's it going, Rick? How's your guys' weather in there?
It's finally shaping up. It's been a wet, cold one, but we had good weather. We had a good weather window yesterday, and we got a couple of days. We got a couple of days to go fishing. Time to get your butt up here.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, we've had decent weather out here, and we scraped up a decent trip here. We had 174 tuna and about 40 wahoo for the trip between the bank and the buffer zone, and it was definitely a scratch bite, to say the least. We had a day where we had one day we had a 240 and a 170, and then we've had a day where we had 47 fish up to 220. So it was all over the place. We averaged about 17 fish a day. I think it was a longer trip, but we ended up scratching up a lot of nice, decent fish. A lot of fish in that 130 to 160 pound grade.
Nice.
We have a handful in the 190s. I think we have a few over 220 is the biggest. And that's it. We're just coming home and going to get regrouped and come back down and try it again.
Roy, that's awesome. And, you know, that is a perfect example of why these trips are as long as they are. You know, the options of staying on the fish when things are slow. You've got time to make moves. You've got time to wait them out, and you've got time to steady pick away. And I'm sure that was one of those scenarios. The guys that were hard at it and kept fishing baits and kept fishing the right gear, eventually their bites come, and next thing you know, you turn around and look at the end of your trip, and you caught a bunch of big ones.
Oh, absolutely. Like prime example, the day we had 47, next day we went out, tried the same thing, we got 4. Next day we roll out, we get, 27, I think. Next day we got 21, and like yesterday morning before we left, we got on a spot of fish. We ended up scraping up 26 fish by noon, up to 193. So like I said, it was every day, whatever you did the day before, you could throw it right out the window.
That's it. Well, Roy, sounds like you left on
that all over again.
Sounds like you left them biting on a good note, and that's always a good thing. If somebody wants to get in on this long-range fishing, you got any opportunities to go fishing aboard the Royal Polaris coming up here soon?
Yeah, we do. I believe there's a couple openings. You'd have to check in with the office, but the area code 619-226-8030. Give Mark a call there and see if we have any spots available.
Good deal.
That's all I got for you.
Awesome, Roy. Well, we appreciate the check very much. I know Frank had mentioned that there's a trip April 22nd, a really good big fish time of year, and a good piece of the moon to be down there in those big ones. Roy, appreciate the report. Sounds like you guys had a great trip, and we'll look forward to talking to you on the next one.
All right, we'll see you later. You guys have a good day.
All right, Roy, appreciate that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great information. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
When bad weather and rough seas send other boats back to the docks, Seakeeper allows you to fish longer and fish harder, even in the roughest conditions. Don't believe us? Just listen to what Southern California's own Captain Pete Grosbeck says. He says, we're very impressed with the whole operation of the Seakeeper. We live bait a lot. We go slow, which puts us in the trough. And now basically there is no trough. Seakeeper's newest offering, the Seakeeper 3, is optimized to eliminate up to 95% of boat roll on boats between 30 and 39 feet. Even better, the gyro is so small it can fit inside a customized leaning post, bringing installation down to a mere 2 days. To learn more about how Seakeeper can change your life on the water and to schedule your free demo, go to Seakeeper.com. Take a ride. Be amazed. Seakeeper.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
Imagine being home in the morning and fishing yellowtail and calicos at Cedros Island by the afternoon. Now you can with Cedros Adventures. Experience world-class yellowtail and calico fishing aboard comfortable pangas with local captains that know the island hotspots. Stay in Cedros Adventures' own private waterfront hotel and experience first-class meals and service with pickups in L.A., Orange, or San Diego County. You hop aboard a scheduled flight to Cedros Island to begin an incredible experience. Trips are all inclusive and offer old world hospitality and fantastic fishing. Cedros Adventures. Call 310-435-6353 or check cedrosadventures.com for rates and more information.
This is Rick Jensen with Sport Fishing Financial. I think most of you get that I'm a fisherman and work with the fishing community, but to understand exactly what Sport Fishing Financial does, ask yourself these 4 questions. First, do you really know how much money you'll need in order to retire comfortably? Next, do you know how much you'll have to save on a regular basis to reach that number? Do you have a process that includes a proven investment strategy and confidence that the money you save will grow? Last, do you have a plan for how to turn your savings into retirement income? If you don't have good answers to these questions, you're not alone, but you should, and I can make sure you do. In addition, if you own a business and currently provide or are planning on providing a retirement savings plan for yourself or your employees, we should really talk. We offer an outstanding variety of creative solutions that are sure to meet your needs.
Some of our listeners may feel overwhelmed. Others may believe they are already doing the best they can. In either case, I bet Rick can help. Set a time to meet with him and start planning for your personal or business investment success. Find Rick on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give him a call at 949-481-1807.
22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro is home to LA's finest open party fleet, including overnights on the Freedom, Catalina Freelance on the Pursuit, half-day trips on the Monte Carlo, and 3/4-day trips on the Native Sun. Plus, you can charter the Ultra, Spectra, and Trueline. There is always plenty of free parking and a fully stocked tackle store. Take advantage of the Wednesday specials on the Pursuit and Monte Carlo, and kids fish free with a paid adult on the afternoon half-day. 22nd Street Landing Sport Fishing in San Pedro. Call 310-832-8304 or book online at 22ndstreet.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Phones are packed here. Everybody wants to talk to Dave. We're going to do that. Jumping right back in. This time talking to Jim. Jim has called us from Carlsbad this morning. Jim, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Great
Hey,
show. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
You give me a lot to consider this morning between the Tranks and the Twin Power. That bluefin popper fishing was fun. Question for you. In your experience, is there any need to add heavy split rings to poppers? And then another question is about replacing hooks on flat falls.
Two good questions. I think as far as the split rings go, it really just, I think, depends on the brand of the popper or what condition they're in. I have to say, you know, I'm spoiled. I use our Orca poppers, which worked really well. I never replaced any split rings on those. Those were fine. As far as the flat fall, yeah, you know, it's a tough decision when you make a lure like that. You got to pick a hook that sort of works best all around. And, you know, if we put the optimum hook on a flat fall for catching a 200-pound bluefin tuna, that hook is then too big for, it's not right for catching chucklehead or yellowtail or whatever. So, you know, you kind of have to take that how it comes. It's set up with a standard size hook and length of cord on it so that it doesn't tangle, so that it works optimum for sort of, basically we built it as primarily like a, if you will, a 25-pound yellowtail jig or, you know, tuna, 30-pound tuna jig. So what I did on flat falls for fishing the bigger tunas, and they were biting the flat fall really well on the Tanner, is that I went to, I tried to keep the cord length about the same because I didn't want the hook to come around and catch the line. If you use too long a cord, it'll swing around and catch the line and foul all the time. So keep about that same length of cord, and I went to a bigger gap, heavier hook. About the same length, shank, just a bigger gap, like a 7080. We actually sell some replacement ones. Owner sells great ones. And now that's more in line with catching a big tuna. But and it's got a heavier cord on it, a heavier pound test. So, but the main thing is to try to keep the overall dimensions of the jig the same so that you don't run into, like, fouling it, you know, so that the hook catches on the line on the way down, because that's really frustrating. But, yeah, when you're fishing those big tuna, you know, it's really best. You know, you'll catch some fish on the size hooks that are on there, but you really need to up the size of the hook. It's just try not to change the overall total dimensions of the whole setup, if that makes sense.
We had a lot of people that have inquired, you know, that long-range fishing, a lot of fish on the Hurricane Bank this year. Popular technique is guys fishing PL68s and those real big, heavy, super uncomfortable to fish lure, but very effective. Guys were curious about using, because of the effectiveness for those big flat falls of 200 and 250 grammars up here, would putting a traditional big giant tuna hook on the back, does that completely kill the action of a lure like that? I mean, does it just go against the principles of why a flat fall gets bites?
Any like a fixed big siwash, that will harm the action of the jig because it acts more like a keel because it's not swinging as much, it's fixed. So I wouldn't suggest that. But again, Owner, and we even sell, but you know, go to Owner, get a really good heavy duty assist hook.
9.0 monster.
Yeah, you know, they sell some great ones, and that's what you want to use on the bigger tunas. But then, like I said, I wouldn't recommend that on yellowtail fishing. It's probably okay, but you know, I think the more the standard hooks. It's like anything else; you just need to adjust. And it's similar on the poppers. You know, if you know, I find if you go to, I saw a lot of people. I want to put a much bigger hook on there. What they don't realize is that changes the weight distribution of the popper. And so it will sit different in the water, which means it works different. If you put a great big heavy, much heavier treble hook on the back, now it's going to sit tail heavy, and it's just not going to work right. I mean, there's a lot to lure design that if you go messing with it, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not. And people go, what happened? It's not working. So, and that's our popper or anybody else's popper is, you know, there's just a lot to that weight and balance issue.
Did that answer your phone call for you, Jim?
Yes, thanks so much, guys.
Appreciate it very much. So one thing I also want to, you know, we keep saying the same things, but I got to commend you guys also, too. That's one of the differences between when you guys come out with lures like that versus a lot of others is you use very quality components on things like that. And the one that comes to my mind is a lure that works so good for us in our local tuna fishing, that's the Colt Sniper. There's 100 different dart-style jigs out there, and amongst a lot of things that makes yours good is you use really good hooks and really good split rings, and some of the other names that will be not mentioned. You know, when we sell them in the shop, we say the same thing, like, just so you know, that thing literally is not going to work unless you change the hook and change the ring And those Colt snipers, you just take it out of the package, tie it on, and go catch your fish.
Yeah, you do. And I hear a lot of people talk about, well, can't believe you guys don't use bigger hooks on a Colt sniper or something. And it's very similar to the answer that I just gave. It's like, there's no real answer to that. It's like we didn't design the Colt sniper out of the box to go catch 150-pound bluefin tuna throwing into a foamer. I mean,
right.
that's not what you envision for the average Colt sniper. It can be adapted to work that way, but it's, out of the package, that's just not what you have in mind as a company when you put something on the market. And yeah, the Colt snipers, the flat falls, I would say that they probably this year, at least in the middle of the season, weren't catching as many fish as they were the previous year. But then also, that's another one. It's a great example because the technique had to be adjusted. And what we learned on the Colt sniper is instead of throwing it right in the middle of the foamer this year, you throw it past the foamer, wind it in the foamer, and then just stop and let it slowly fall, and that was getting the bites. And that's a totally different technique so it wasn't that the Colt sniper wasn't working, it was the technique with the Colt sniper the previous year wasn't working last year.
If anything makes you want to feel like a man, you wind up and fire a Colt sniper. You can throw that thing about three-quarters of a mile if the wind is going with you. If you're on a spot of fish that it's tough to get on, you can literally stay forever away and still hit a spot with those things. They're awesome.
Absolutely.
That is such a good jig. Hey, Jim, again, appreciate the phone call very much. Next up, let's talk to David. He's calling us from Fountain Valley this morning. Hi, David. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, Dave.
Yes.
I fish your Shimano bait runner reels, 3,500 and 8,000, and I went and purchased a 2-speed spinning reel from England. Do you guys ever consider building a 2-speed spinning reel?
Yes, we have looked at it a couple of times in the past, and we're not at a point where we believe we can make a truly reliable and beneficial 2-speed spinning reel that's not just kind of an unruly monster. So there's a lot of engineering in there that has to happen. The way spinning reels operate, obviously different than a conventional reel. So we're not at a point there of having anything that we think is truly market ready and is going to work the way it's supposed to. And I don't think that'll probably happen for some time, at least from us. I know there's some other ones out there that I've looked at and everything, and I don't know. I guess time will tell. Maybe they might have it figured out, but we don't.
You guys definitely don't make things just to make them.
No.
And that's one thing for sure. The amount of test and time and everything, and just like we said, with the lures and everything else, when Shimano, when it's official and you can buy it, it's done right most of the time.
Yeah, that's a whole different animal. So it's a good question. Like I said, there are some on the market, and maybe guys will get them and use them, and maybe they'll prove to be really good, and it might be a case where we're behind the curve. I don't know, so we'll see.
Dave, appreciate the phone call very much. How about next up, we talked to Brian, who's calling us from Wildemar this morning. Hey, Brian, welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Dave, you're probably sick of the question, but we'll ask again. It's like when Doug calls Doug. He's always, hey, Doug. But I wanted to ask you about the Trinidad 40 Narrow, or hopefully a new Torium 40 Narrow, something taller, skinnier. I mean, I don't want to name other competitors. I don't want to be rude, but something in that taller, narrower.
Yeah, I know exactly what you have in mind there, and we know that there's a need for it out here in the West, and we know some of our competitors have some pretty good products in that range. It hasn't hit the priority on the development scale. It doesn't mean it won't. We know it's out there. It's just a matter of fitting it into everything that we're trying to develop and engineer, and how much time and capacity that we have for all that. It is a really unique product that there's basically two markets for it. It's Hawaii for Alua fishing and Southern California for yo-yo fishing.
Yo-yo jig and wahoo.
And and the difficulty there is, and I'm only talking from a business perspective, you build something like that and then you hit a year where there's no yo-yo fishing and you don't ever get a return on your investment in the R&D and the design time and everything. And so that's not always a good reason not to do it. It's just one of those reasons where with the way a lot of other trends in fishing, we always have to prioritize like anything else, and some other things have hit the priority list before. But we know it's needed out here. We know people really want it, and at some point we may see something like that. So it's a cool product. We've also scratched our heads how to develop a bigger or sort of more reliable, consistent market across the country, and well, you get east of here, and
they don't want it.
they don't understand what that's for.
I don't even like saying this because I'm with Brian. I want a Trinidad 40A so bad because it's my favorite. You know, for like say for yo-yo jig fishing and a lot for wahoo fishing. That is just like my most coveted wahoo reel. And I don't even want to admit this because I don't want to let that out, but I fished instead of a Trinidad 40, which I have, you know, a couple of that I don't, you know, that live for that wahoo fishing. I switched over and did the straight Spectra on a Trinidad 20, and instead of a 40, which that the compactness of the 20, I can turn the handle just as fast, if not faster. The drags and torque are so good in that thing, and I was almost bummed at how much I liked fishing my bombs with a Trinidad 20 this year instead of a 40, because I'm with Brian. I was the most diehard, like, please make this happen, but there's something to be said about smaller, lighter, fits in your hand. And if it still makes the drag and it still makes the torque, there's not always reason to go the other way.
Yeah, there is. But nonetheless, you know, we see it. We know it's there. It's just, like I said, it hasn't hit the screen yet.
There it is.
Yep.
All right.
Good question.
Appreciate the phone call very much. How about next up we talk to Tom, who's calling us from Temecula this morning. Tom, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Morning, guys. Morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Have to thank you for the education that we've gotten this morning. I feel like I don't need to ask a question simply because of all the information, and you guys do come out with a great product. I just really want to thank you, especially on that new Torium HD. That HG, it's a great reel, and I was wondering what do your engineers do? Do they go back over some of the existing reels there? And I know there's new materials coming out that can improve, reels, make them lighter and stronger. Do they have a set program that they kind of review all the existing product and then use that going into new product?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we continually evaluate, you know, everything that we have in the market. We study it from a consumer complaint and a consumer service standpoint. We track and record everything so that we really study what areas we need to improve in the next generation on the product. And based on that information, how much information we get and sort of what's available technology-wise, material-wise, et cetera, that's what really kind of determines more the lifespan of the product. So where some might be faster, some might be a little bit slower, that all just depends on all of those factors coming together. But, yep, we evaluate all of that really, really, really carefully, and, ultimately that will determine it. I mean, typically our saltwater reel lifespan is a little bit longer than our freshwater reel lifespan. We also know, well, we feel anyway, a lot of the saltwater feedback is, once things are good and comfortable, you kind of want to leave it there, and especially because the investment is bigger. People in saltwater tend to like, sets of tackle and everything matching, because then they're really confident and comfortable with, techniques and things that they're doing, whereas freshwater, the techniques change far more rapidly in freshwater, and you really need to move faster to adjust to those techniques. So there's a little bit different lifespan for both, but directly to your question, we evaluate things all the time from those perspectives.
All right, great question. Hey, appreciate the phone call very much, Tom. All right, thanks a lot for that. Let's jump right back into him, this time talking to Jeff, who's calling us from Costa Mesa this morning. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, Rick. Mr. Pfeiffer there.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I've heard the full circle now. I started fishing back in the 80s, and I was using egg beaters, as they used to call them, and I'd get laughed at and yelled at and all that other stuff. So then I fished Jig Masters. Then I turned to the Shimano, the Triton series, and I love those reels back in the day. Mm-hmm. Ricky's heard all this history before. But anyway, the older reels and stuff like that, do you have a donation program or something that you do? I know when they get so old that you can't do anything with them. You don't even service them. And is there any tour? Do you guys offer any tours? I know that's not the real factory, but any tours at Shimano? Do you do anything like that?
We don't do any tours of our facility there. I mean, honestly, it's really a sales office and a distribution center. So, and when you walk in customer service, everything we do is right there. You can see it all going on from across the counter. So, no tours. And then we don't have a real donation program for all the old stuff. Most all of that we just destroy, recycle. it ends up, we do a lot of donations, obviously, but it just becomes so costly to get all that old gear in working order to where you would donate it to, to an organization and get it out there so that it's all working. So donations, we handle out of our, current product and et cetera to whatever type of organizations that we support. So
I know, Jeff, locally, if you've got reels that are still in working order, but it's just, you've replaced your Triton with a Torium, then your Torium with a Trinidad, and that one's not even going to make it, a real easy one, and most of the local shops around, I know certainly ours, you can just drop that stuff off for Friends Zoralo. Those guys will take it, sell it in a used scenario, use that money to add to their fund, take kids fishing. It's real easy. We do it all the time. People replace their gear 2 or 3 times over, and, hey, my TLD 30 still works absolutely perfect, but I've replaced it twice, and now I've got TAC 25s, and those are the type of things that, people will just drop off to us, and we'll see that it gets to Rollo, or any of your shops will do the same thing.
Yeah, as long as it's working, that's a great suggestion.
Hey, Jeff, again, appreciate the phone
call
very much. Let's sneak in another talk to John. John's called us from Lakeside this morning. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Dave. How are you today?
Good. Good morning, John.
Hey, I have a question about your service. I have some older gear that you were just talking about. My gear is not that old where I don't want to get rid of it, but what's the process of me getting it straight to Shimano so I have the factory guys working on it to get it back in working order? Because I definitely don't want to put it out to pasture while I'm waiting for the albacore to show up this year.
Right.
It's 2 simple ways. You can ship it to our service department. Address is on our website, but just at 1 Holland and Irvine. Or we have a walk-up counter where you can come by the office and walk in and drop them off and, let the techs know personally, in person, what issues you're having or what service you want done. So either way is fine. Either ship them to us with a note of exactly what you want done on each reel or drop them off in person.
You heard everybody talk about it, John. I don't think let me rephrase that. I know there's not a better repair facility. The guys are awesome, and your gear literally comes back as good, if not better, than when it was brand new out of the box.
Don't wait too long. Everybody wants to wait until the fish show up to bring it in, and then they're all bummed out when it's like a 2-week turnaround time. It's like I always tell people, send them in now, man. They're not doing you any good sitting in the garage. So get them to us now.
John, appreciate the phone call very much. All right, with that, it is time to find out who is the big winner of a brand new Shimano Twin Power 14,000 reel. Literally a perfect reel for you going and catching your big bluefin. And so, of all of our callers, the big winner today is Brian from Wildemar. Brian, congratulations. You're going to absolutely love that new reel. Congrats.
Congrats, Brian. Yeah. Don't listen to Frank. Come to the enlightened side. It's okay.
Dave cannot thank you enough. I know you have such a busy schedule, and we really appreciate you coming and hanging and talking fishing. We love it. We really, really love it. As always, if somebody wants more information, all the stuff we talked about, new trains coming out, all the great stuff, where do we find the goods? Where do we find the info?
The best in the modern day world is just Shimano.com. You tour around there, everything is on there. Our address, our contact information, specs on everything. It's all there. I real quick, I see some of the forums and I see people asking about line capacity. It's all on our website, man. It's all there. So we do mono and Power Pro capacities on everything. So it's it doesn't give down to if you use a 50-yard top shotter, but I think everybody can figure that out. But the capacities are all there, the specs are all there, differences between the reels. Everything's there. So Shimano.com.
Awesome.
That's the best way to go.
Dave, can't thank you enough, man.
Thank you guys. And thanks to all the listeners. I really enjoyed coming in and appreciate everyone's support and comments very much. So
awesome. Well, hey, we had a great show. We had a great time talking fishing. We got another couple of great shows coming for you next weekend. Next Saturday, Corey Sandin from MC Swim Baits during the Bay Bass Tournament. We'll all have our radios on listening to Corey. And the next Sunday, Yanni from the Fisherman's Belly. Going to be a very cool show. Talking about the cooking side of things. So going to be a great couple of shows. Look forward to you next weekend. You stay tuned. More great Let's Talk Hookup next Saturday and Sunday on the Mighty 1090.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3/4-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3/4-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3/4-day, or 1 to 3-day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.
There's a new kid in town, and they are creating near miracles on boats all over the Southland. It's Blue Seas Fabrication, the West Coast's first and only certified sea-deck fabricator and installer. Install sea-deck EVA from non-skid decking materials on your boat, sport fisher, or yacht, and your boating experience is enhanced and improved. Why? Well, first, sea-deck from Blue Seas Fabrication enriches the look of any boat, old or new. Next, the SeaDeck non-skid decking material adds comfort, convenience, safety, and value. The possibilities are endless. Let the experts from Blue Seas Fabrication show you how SeaDeck will make your life easier and better on every trip. Their professional staff will custom fit your deck, bridge, and interior with the stylish, non-absorbent, stain-resistant, and easy-to-clean material in multiple textures, designs, and colors. SeaDeck offers comfort and anti-fatigue properties for those long days of fishing. It can also be used on kayaks, boat trailers, and more. See for yourself. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com to see how SeaDeck can transform your watercraft and truly create a wow factor for the next time you head out. Call them at 858-232-4188 for more information and a free quote. Check BlueSeasFabrication.com and enhance your fishing experience. Many years ago, Baja pioneer Bob Van Wormer found the area he called the Great Fish Trap in the East Cape of southern Baja and built what is now regarded as the premier East Cape resorts of Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Today, following in their father's footsteps, Bob's sons, Bobby, Chucky, and Eddie, have taken Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol to new levels. With the largest sport fishing fleet in Mexico, a luxurious spa, and top-of-the-line resort amenities, Van Wormer Resorts have become a destination for travelers worldwide. But for us, Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol are just a short 2-hour flight away. No other tropical fishing destination offers the experience and value that you'll find at Palmas de Cortez and Playa del Sol. Now you can plan your Baja fishing vacation quick and easy by visiting VanWormerResorts.com. And when you're ready to book, it's quick and easy. Or simply call 877-777-TUNA for more information. Van Wormer Resorts, the East Cape's finest. Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half. 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.